Gophers come in on a bye week, almost not fair. No bye weeks for you, so you knew they'd have a little something prepared for you. And obviously, Ohio State offensively, you want to get on the board. Didn't do it against Penn State and rode a defensive effort to victory that day.
Well, that's right. And we not only had some new things to cope with, but we were going against a pretty significant win that first quarter, which I thought was pretty tough. But we got out of the quarter only down 3-0, and you know, then I think we had a chance to roll from there.
Weathered the windstorm just a bit, as they say, but you come out second largest crowd in history. Just couldn't step up to last week, I guess. LaCharles Bentley out for the coin toss as well.
It's great to have LaCharles back, and he made it known to the guys this morning. He remembered the last time Minnesota played here, and we better not let that happen again.
New Orleans Saints offensive lineman putting a charge in the Buckeyes, and we always get a charge out of Chris Gamble when he's got his hands on the ball.
Well, I'll tell you what, he loves to make plays, and he got the ball out over the 30, which was great field position against that wind, but we didn't do much with it. And we fouled up on the punt play, which, you know, we talk about the punt is the most important play in football, and we didn't take care of it.
Snap goes back, and Andy Groom is going to get a hand on this by a guy who has blocked 5 punts, Jermaine Mays, in his career, and he got one in 2000 early in the game with Minnesota against the Buckeyes. He
comes to get it, and they overloaded our A-gap there, and we didn't get things done, but our defense stepped up and did a great job holding their C. Grant, Matt Wilhelm, Will Smith, forcing them to go for the field goal.
Terry Jackson just clobbered right there by that host of players, as you said. Yeah, the field goal from Dan Nystrom goes up from 24 yards, splits the uprights, and it's good. Here we get Asad Khalik, and you knew they'd run the option.
Well, there's no doubt about it. He's a good athlete. He's a tough kid, but Will Smith, he's got great quickness, and he wasn't going to let Khalik around the corner. And here they line up and kick the chip shot there, and that was the end of their scoring for the day.
That's a nice thing to know in the first quarter. Buckeyes going to get things rolling here. Simon Frazier. We go defensively now. Back on offense. Asad Khalik.
And here he comes on the drop back pass. I think it was a called quarterback draw, and Simon Frazier would have none of that. And you see Kenny Peterson in there and Timmy Anderson. I thought our guys dominated the line of scrimmage and definitely won the battle in the trenches.
Absolutely did, especially in the second half. Here we go back on offense. Lydell Ross, 5 yards up the middle.
Well, here he goes, and just a base off tackle play. And, you know, they came out doing a lot of blitzing, putting a lot of people in the box. And as the day went, we just got back to our simplest things. And I think we got untracked fairly well and ended up with 34.5 minutes of possession.
We're seeing Lydell Ross in place of Maurice Claret.
Good looking run right there. Good downfield blocking by Chris Vance. And that's a great field position play and moving the football down the field.
Pick up a 5 there.
Lydell had about, what, 92 yards for the day or so, and Maurice Hall had about 93. It was good to get those two guys working with the football.
Great day for your tandem of backs. As we mentioned, Maurice Claret on the shelf for this game.
Here you see the zone play, and you can just see that our defensive front was not going to allow themselves to get knocked backwards, and Minnesota just couldn't budge us. The only time they could block us was when they held us, and they got called for a number of holding penalties.
Into second quarter action now. Khalik throwing it up. Good coverage. Dustin Fox on the play.
Tell you what, Dustin Fox gets better every day. He has great confidence in what he's doing, and he's one of the fine corners, I think, in the Big Ten.
That's his 11th pass defense of the year. Leads the Buckeyes
Matt
secondary.
Wilhelm there again, and all the guys kept the blockers off the linebackers, and Matt Wilhelm stepped up where he was supposed to be and made the big hit.
Thomas Tapé goes down there, and back on offense go the Buckeyes. Lydell Ross off the right side, a chunk of 14 yards.
Here again, just a basic off-tackle play, and he slid it outside, and Lydell's got that great speed and a heck of a run there.
The Bucks get it rolling downhill now, and this time on a big play. 49 yards to Michael Jenkins. 22 straight games he's hauled in a pass now.
Well, this, I tell you what, look at the great protection. Craig Krenzel, good patience, and he finds Mike Jenkins, and what he does after the catch is what makes him so dangerous. I thought he might score there, but Mike Jenkins is a steady guy, and he is definitely our go-to guy.
The score comes from your running back, and the yards after catch, the yak that everybody likes to talk about around the country. Big-time numbers from Michael Jenkins. 5 yards is left to be cleaned up by Lydell Ross.
Here we went out in a little bit of an unbalanced. We had 2 tight ends to the weak side here and made them bring their coverage people. They were blitzing so much that they were a little bit short over on the other side, and Lydell Ross with great blocking there. Ben Hartsock and Shane Olivier on the right side, Alex Stepanovich. Great way to get on the board and get the momentum turned around. And really from that point on, I think we dominated the football game.
The crowd really into it at this point, and the defense getting into it as well.
Well, there you see David Thompson and Matt Wilhelm, Simon Frazier, Timmy Anderson, Donnie Nicky. Those guys they were not going to let Minnesota gain much. And here you see the punt play. Our guys are going after it, and Donnie Nicky almost had to slow down on that block punt, and a great design by Coach Mark Snyder, who set up that punt block with his Ranger unit.
And Donnie Nicky may have just run right past that if he didn't slow down, but the punt block, great special teams play there, and of course Coach Snyder knows a thing or two about the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Well, he does that, and we weren't able to go cash in and get a touchdown, but Mike Nugent again banged it through, and you know, it's been great to see how steady Michael has been and how steady the snapping and protection and holding from Andy Groom have been.
Nugent good from 37 yards away, so the Bucks lead 10-3 at that point. A couple of backs for the Minnesota Golden Gophers have rushed for 200 yards in 2 straight games and 100 yards in 3 straight games. They come in as the offensive Big Ten leader and absolutely get shut down here in the first half.
Well, our defense is good. They didn't face anyone like our defense, and if we'll keep improving, I think you're going to be able to talk about one of the great defenses in America in 2002.
A long day for Minnesota continues. Second half highlights from the Horseshoe. 3 is the lead at this point as we stand. You came out in the first half with a couple of different looks. It seems each week you do that just to keep people honest from the film that they are getting to see. We don't see Maurice Clarett in the game. Does it have anything to do with that, running the ball a little bit differently today?
Well, we wanted to line up and give them some things to think about. They had 2 weeks, and we didn't want to come out just exactly as what they had studied for 2 weeks. And obviously we were missing Maurice and would love to have him back, but you know, I'm real happy with what Lydell and Maurice Hall did there. And you know, I think Maurice Clarett's strength will get back, and we're going to be at full strength, I'd like to think, for Purdue.
Anything to change up in the second half? This team has just been unbelievable in second halves of games, especially in the third quarter as well.
I think they communicate well. I think they do a good job of telling their coaches, hey, here's what we're seeing, here's what they're doing to us, and the coaches have good interaction. And you know, I just think we have pretty smart football players, and I think that helps us adjust.
Good conversations at halftime as they come back out, getting fired up. 10-3 is the lead for the Bucks, getting right after it and getting after the quarterback.
You know, we chose to kick into the wind, and here you see A.J. Hawk and Michael Doss doing a great job, and we were going to stop them while they had the wind. We felt we needed to burn up that third quarter and make sure they don't score, and if we can get some on the scoreboard, that'd be great. And here we are forcing them to punt right away, and they have a mistake, and they end up going down their knees, and we have a chance to score against the wind.
A bad snap. That could be due to some pressure earlier in the game, a block punt.
Well, that's right. The guy that missed the block, I think, might have been the center in that first punt block, and so he was hurrying over to try to snap the ball. And here you see Lydell Ross on a little zone play, great blocking off that left side. Ivan Douglas and Ben Hartsock and Ryan Hamby were at the point of attack there, and that was a great little stretch play, and Lydell found the seam and made a great cutback.
And a 17-3 lead there. Bucks go back on defense now, and Minnesota running into all kinds of trouble.
Well, you know, those plays that we call them naked, meaning that they fake and have no protection back on the backside. Darian Scott felt it coming, and Kalik didn't have anywhere to look.
This was a balanced team coming in. Minnesota, 16 passing touchdowns, 16 rushing touchdowns. You're making them one-dimensional here. Here
was a big third down play. This was an important thing. They blitzed us pretty well there, and we picked it up great with the offensive line, and Craig Krenzel stood in, and I think we're getting a little more balanced as the game goes on, and here you see Mike Nugent again stepping up and banging it through, and that field goal unit has been rock solid.
Talking about balance and level-headedness there. 33-yard field goal from Nugent is, well, what else? Good through the uprights. A 20-3 lead for the Buckeyes, and Maurice Hall now finding some time in the game. Rips off 19 yards.
Basic off-tackle play, and you know, the defense had gotten us good field position again out near midfield, and there you see Mo Hall. They had blitzed us there, and whenever we can block down and run off tackle when they're blitzing, we have a chance to spring a big one, and Mo Hall had great patience there.
Get him thinking about that run. Then you go with a little play-action fake here, and up top to Chris Vance.
Well, again, good patience. Picked up the blitz. Chris Vance makes the big catch, and that was awful important to him. As we all know, he lost his brother yesterday, and that was a big catch for him.
Absolutely. And a 27-3 lead for the Buckeyes at that point, and move the fourth quarter action with Darian Scott and Tim Anderson combining on a sack, and that front four just rotates in and out. They're all fresh, and they just keep coming at you.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And they put the pressure on, and because he didn't throw the ball across the line of scrimmage, that was grounding, and that pushed him back even further. And good pressure by Darian. Great job by Will Allen, and now they're back against it.
Loss of down, and Darian Scott will remember this one for a while.
Big hit there. He'll be nominating himself for the Jack Tatum Hit of the Week. You know, they all nominate themselves after they make big plays. Darian Scott makes them week after week.
He's gotten it before as well. And back on offense now, Buckeyes take over on downs. Maurice Hall, another 18 yards, chewing up the ground, chewing up the clock.
Again, just a basic off-tackle play, and he had great patience in the hole, made a couple guys miss, and you know, going into this drive, we challenged Maurice because Lydell had got a little bit of a stinger himself, and we challenged Maurice to rip off a bunch of runs and take it the whole way down the field, and he did just that.
This drive was basically all him. This one's complete to Childress, and it's a key play on 2nd and 20, a pickup of 17.
Yeah, after a holding call there, and a heck of a play by Bam. Good throw by Craig Krenzel. It wasn't the coverage I was expecting, so Craig did a good job of picking where to throw the ball.
Now number 28 rips one off for 28 yards, and that's a 4th down play.
Right before the play, Tim Spencer said in the headphones, he said, fellas, he's going to break this one the whole way. And it almost happened. Our guys were doing a good job up front. They were starting to get a feel for the defensive front of Minnesota. And again, we had it 34.5 minutes. That was important. Here's a little wishbone kind of look there. And Mo Hall gets in the end zone. It was great to see him get in. Mo Hall's a great kid, and he's an important part of our offense.
Local player here in Columbus, and a 34-3 lead for Ohio State over Minnesota. Jaja Riley getting some time in the backfield as well.
Well, it was good to see Jaja get in there, and again, he showed good patience and stayed behind the blockers. Bryce Bishop was still in there. I think Robbie Sims and Nick Mangold and Reggie Arden in there banging away, and that was good patience as he ran the football. And here you see Scott McMillan finds Drew Carter hanging on the sideline there, and that was a big first down, and we wanted to make sure that we ended the game with the ball in our hands.
And that is what you did with that first down, able to run out the clock there, and a 34-3 win over Glenn Mason, former Buckeye player, former Buckeye coach as well.
Well, no doubt, and they have a good, tough football team, and you know, they're 7-2. You know, you don't want to discount that. They've done a heck of a job, and they've got some big ones. They've got Michigan coming up at home. I think they've got Iowa and Wisconsin left, so they've got some toughies coming up, but he's got a good young football team, and they play hard.
And the season with Wisconsin as well. The Buckeyes, though, you finish off this game, slow start, but you finish strong, and it really was a convincing ending and just the way you wanted it.
Well, I think our defense was convincing the whole game. Offensively, we started out a little slow. Punt-wise, we didn't play well the whole game, and that's got to get squared away. We're going on the road. You can't make errors in the punting game if you want to win at places like Purdue and Illinois, and Purdue had an open date prior to us playing, so once again we'll have someone who's got a lot of time to work on us, and we've got to be better.
But you talk about patience, and you talk about in each individual play, but in the big picture, the patience that these guys exert each and every week.
Well, that's right, and I think they're focused at the task at hand, and they're working to get better, and I think we'll keep getting better.
Meet with one of the